I hope you don't mind if I bend your ear a little bit today. This past week, I've been up to my ears in new ideas for English lessons, and today's podcast is going to be something that I hope won't go in one ear and out the other. Let's get going.
Welcome to another Happy English podcast coming to you from New York City. And here's your English teacher, Michael.
All right, thank you, John, and thanks, everyone. It's Michael here from Happy English, and I help people speak English better. This is Happy English Podcast, episode 749. Ear Idioms. Yeah, ear idioms. Today, we're going to look at 6 idioms that have to do with how you listen to something. Before we dive in, let's listen to a conversation between 2 college roommates. Be sure to listen for the ear idioms in their conversation.
Hey, Taylor. It's so good to see you. You know, I've been up to my ears in studying lately. It's like I never get a break. I need better time management skills.
Yeah, same here. I had to bend my roommate's ear for advice on how to manage everything. They're always so organized.
Oh, I hear you. I still feel a bit wet behind the ears when it comes to balancing everything. I'm just learning as I go.
Me too. You know, the other day, I overheard a couple of classmates talking about our paper. My ears were burning because they were mentioning my ideas. I was so curious.
I hope what they were saying was positive. Sometimes I feel like my suggestions fall on deaf ears in our study group. It's frustrating when nobody listens.
Yeah. Sometimes when I'm working with my study partner, it seems like my ideas go in one ear and out the other.
I guess all we can do is hang in there. Anyway, thanks a lot for listening.
And now, let's check out these ear idioms. First up, when you are up to your ears in something, you have so much to do that you feel overwhelmed. Here are some examples. I am up to my ears in paperwork right now, so I can't meet you for lunch today. Now that school's started, the kids are up to their ears in homework. The first weekend I moved into my new apartment, I was up to my ears in cleaning. The next one is wet behind the ears. Someone who is wet behind the ears is inexperienced or new at something. Here are some examples. Casey said she still feels a bit wet behind the ears when it comes to balancing everything. I'm still wet behind the ears when it comes to managing a team, but I'm learning quickly. Do you feel like you're wet behind the ears when it comes to your English? Hang in there. It's gonna keep getting better for you. Next, when you bend someone's ear, you talk to them for a long time about something. For example, Taylor said she had to bend her roommate's ear for advice on how to manage everything. Thanks for letting me bend your ear today. I really needed to vent about my boss. You know, I got a lot of good advice about going to Peru from Carlos. I'm glad he let me bend his ear about my trip. And here's something that I want to bend your ears about. It's the All Ears English podcast. All Ears English. That's the place where my friends Lindsay, Michelle, and Aubrey focus on connection, not perfection, with real and natural English conversations. The All Ears English podcast has 4.2 million all-time listeners and 200 million all-time downloads. They have even been ranked number 1 in U.S. education language courses in Apple. And they've got 5 new episodes a week. This week's topics include the difference between we made it and we did it, and 6 new language trends that native speakers are using today. Sounds awesome, right? All you need to do is open your search bar right now, type in All Ears English and hit follow. They'll have you using and speaking better English in no time. I got a feeling that Lindsay's ears were burning there. When your ears are burning, it means you are aware that people are talking about you, but you don't know exactly what they're saying. For example, Taylor said that his ears were burning because it seemed like his classmates were talking about his ideas. I could tell my ears were burning when everyone started looking at me during the meeting. Tom said his ears were burning when we mentioned his new project at lunch. Next, when something you say falls on deaf ears, it gets ignored or not paid attention to. For example, Casey said she feels like sometimes her suggestions fall on deaf ears in her study group. Whenever I complain to my neighbor about his loud music, it just falls on deaf ears. Despite asking several times, the request for a budget increase fell on deaf ears. In a similar way, we say that something goes in one ear and out the other. Think about that image for a moment. If you talk to someone and what you say goes in one ear and out the other, then what you said didn't spend much time in their head. In other words, they ignored you or didn't pay attention to what you said. For example, in the conversation, Taylor said that sometimes when he's working with his study partner, his ideas go in one ear and out the other. Whenever Jane talks to her teenagers, it seems that her advice goes in one ear and out the other. I told Mark about the changes to the schedule, but it went in one ear and out the other. He seems so distracted today. Keep in mind, the best way to remember this and any other word or phrase in English is to take that word or phrase, write it in a sentence that's true for you or true in your world, and then memorize your sentences. Hey, did you know that you can get the chance to practice this kind of English with me directly? You can get more practice using your English when you join my Podcast Learners Study Group. There, you can make new friends, join us for live group lessons every week where we practice these podcast lessons together. Plus, you get access to the PDF transcript and audio download for every Happy English podcast in the past and in the future. And on top of that, each episode has exercises where you can practice this English point with speaking and writing checked by me. To learn more, just visit myhappyenglish.com and choose Podcast Lesson 749. Remember, learning another language is not easy, but it's not impossible. And I'm here to help you on your journey.
This podcast was brought to you by Happy English. Please visit myhappyenglish.com. Show your support for Happy English by leaving us a review. Get English, get happy, Happy English.